For a long time, it seemed as though the Golden Age detective story had quietly disappeared from television. Modern crime drama had moved in a different direction. Investigations now relied on laboratories, forensic science, and complex police teams. The quiet amateur detective appeared to belong to another era. And yet in 2013, a new series appeared on the BBC that proved something surprising. The Golden Age mystery had not vanished at all. It had simply been waiting to be reinvented. That series was Father Brown. The character of Father Brown was created in the early 20th century by G.K. Chesterton. Unlike most fictional detectives, Father Brown does not rely on observation alone, nor does he rely on technical expertise. His method is rooted in something far deeper. Father Brown understands crime because he understands sin. As a Catholic priest, he spends his life listening to confessions, guiding troubled individuals, and confronting the darker aspects of human behaviour. That experience gives him an unusual insight into the motives behind crime. He does not simply identify the culprit, he understands why the crime happened in the first place. Chesterton's stories often emphasise this aspect of the character. Father Brown does not approach crime as an intellectual puzzle in the abstract. Instead, he imagines himself into the mind of the criminal. In several stories, he explains that he knows how a crime was committed because he can picture how a person might be tempted to commit it. This idea gives the character a very different tone from many other detectives of the period. Where figures like Sherlock Holmes rely on deduction and evidence, Father Brown relies on empathy and moral understanding. He recognises that criminals are rarely monsters. More often, they are ordinary people who have allowed resentment, pride, greed, or fear to take control of their actions. That understanding shapes the entire structure of the stories. The mystery is not simply who committed the crime, it is how a human being reached the point where they were capable of committing it. When the BBC launched The Modern Father Brown, the creators faced an interesting challenge. How could a character rooted in early 20th century detective fiction work on modern television? The solution was elegant. Instead of competing with contemporary crime dramas, the series embraced the structure of the Golden Age mystery. Each episode presents a self-contained puzzle. The setting is a community where characters know each other well. The detective relies on conversation, observation, and understanding rather than technical investigation. In other words, the show deliberately revived the storytelling model that had once dominated detective fiction. This approach immediately set the series apart from many modern crime dramas. Rather than emphasizing violence, technology, or procedural complexity, the stories return to a much older form of storytelling. A crime occurs, a number of suspects emerge, clues appear gradually, and eventually the detective gathers everyone together to reveal the truth. This structure has a rhythm that audiences recognize instantly. It is the classic pattern of the Golden Age mystery, and it still works remarkably well on television. Yet the series also adapts that model to the realities of modern television production. Unlike many earlier detective dramas, Father Brown was designed to produce a large number of episodes efficiently. The show uses recurring locations and a regular ensemble cast. The mysteries unfold within a consistent village environment. This structure allows the programme to maintain the charm of a Golden Age detective story while operating as a modern television series. The result is a format that is both nostalgic and practical. A classic storytelling model reconfigured for contemporary broadcasting. The fictional village of Kembleford becomes the centre of this world. Much like the village settings in Golden Age detective fiction, it functions as a small community where everyone knows one another. New visitors arrive, secrets are uncovered, and crimes disturb the apparent calm of the village. But the familiar environment allows the series to maintain a consistent tone. Viewers quickly become comfortable with the setting and the recurring characters who inhabit it. This familiarity is actually one of the strengths of the format, because the audience returns not only for the mystery, but also for the world in which that mystery takes place. One of the most distinctive elements of the series lies in Father Brown's role as both detective and priest. His investigations often involve moral dilemmas as much as criminal puzzles. He listens to confessions, he offers guidance, he seeks not only justice, but also redemption. This gives the stories an unusual tone within the crime genre. Father Brown is not interested in punishment alone. He wants to understand the human failings that lead people toward crime. In that sense, the detective story becomes something almost philosophical, a reflection on morality, guilt, and forgiveness. This moral dimension distinguishes Father Brown from many other television detectives. Where a police investigator may focus primarily on evidence and procedure, Father Brown focuses on the inner life of the suspects. He watches their behaviour. He listens carefully to what they say and what they avoid saying. Gradually, he pieces together not just the facts of the crime, but the emotional path that led to it. Often, the resolution of the story involves a moment of moral recognition. The criminal is confronted not simply with proof, but with the truth about their own actions. The success of the series demonstrates that the Golden Age detective structure still has enormous appeal. Audiences enjoy the clarity of a self-contained mystery. They enjoy the pleasure of watching a puzzle unfold and then resolve. And they enjoy spending time in a fictional community whose characters gradually become familiar. In a television landscape often dominated by complex serial narratives, the simplicity of the classic mystery can feel refreshing. Many modern dramas ask viewers to follow complicated storylines across multiple episodes or even entire seasons. By contrast, the structure of Father Brown offers something reassuringly clear. Each episode begins with a mystery, and by the end of that episode, that mystery is solved. This format gives the series a rhythm that feels almost timeless. It is the same structure that worked in the detective stories of the early 20th century, and it continues to work today. Father Brown proves that the fundamental pleasures of detective storytelling have not disappeared. They have simply been waiting for the right format to bring them back. The endurance of Father Brown also reflects the strength of Chesterton's original idea. Unlike many fictional detectives, Father Brown is not defined by eccentric behaviour or intellectual brilliance alone. His defining quality is humility. He approaches people without arrogance. He listens rather than dominates. And because of that, others often reveal more than they intend. This quiet approach makes him an unusual hero for a detective story. He does not solve crimes through confrontation. He solves them through understanding. In many ways, that approach fits very naturally with the tone of modern television audiences. It offers a detective who is thoughtful rather than aggressive, compassionate rather than cynical. That balance between mystery and morality is one of the reasons the character continues to resonate. With Father Brown, the Golden Age detective story found a new life on modern television. The series preserves the essential elements of the tradition created by G.K. Chesterton, but it also reshapes that tradition into a production model suited to contemporary broadcasting. The result is something both old and new, a detective story built on timeless principles of human understanding, reinvented for a new generation of viewers. And perhaps that is the real secret of the series. The Golden Age mystery never truly disappeared. It simply waited until television found a way to build it into a modern storytelling system once again. Thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate that. I will be back on another day with another television show. Bye.